And thank you so much. Wait a okay, sorry. Good morning. Good morning, Yasmin. Good morning to all. I'm Rita Brooks. I'm the Director of Small Business Programs, Corporate for SAIC. And what that means is I'm a one-woman shop for the whole corporation. So anything or everything having to do with small business that you'd like to talk about comes directly to me. So let's get started. You know, SAIC, we're a Fortune 500 technology integrator. I'm going to move my, because it's kind of off on the side. Okay. Little logistics here. Excuse me, we're a premier Fortune 500 technology integrator, driving our nation's technology. We have a robust portfolio of offerings across all spans of the government contracting space. So we go through defense, space, civilian, intelligence, high-end solutions in engineering, digital, artificial intelligence, and mission solutions. We're at 7.1 billion and growing in revenues, 1,500 employees, 6,000 veterans, 55% of those hold a security clearance, and we have over 60 plus alliance partners. The one thing with SAIC, we partner with everyone. If we find a program or an opportunity, and even from a small business perspective, if you seek an opportunity and need a large business to partner with, do not hesitate to contact me to say, hey, I think maybe SAIC and I can partner on this. Tell me what the partnership would be. Send me a copy of your capability statement and we can get you partnered with the right department or area or person that could take a look at it and say, hey, absolutely, we'd like to partner on this. And that happens all the time. We're located pretty much all over the country: San Diego, Oklahoma City, Huntsville, Charleston, Virginia Beach, Reston. Our purpose is to advance the power of technology and innovation to serve a product of our world. So we have different silos of how we separate our business. One is defense and civilian sector, national security and space sector, and strategy, growth, and innovation, which includes everything on the screen, from AI to cyber to digital to service delivery innovation. As I said, we've got a $7.1 billion customer mix. And as you can see, the majority of our business is in Department of Defense. However, federal civilian, with all of the agencies it incorporates, comes in second. And this is the breakdown of the customers that we serve. So as you can see, under defense, we're Air Force, Army, Marine, Navy, Space Force, DLA, Department of Defense commands and agencies. Under the civilian, we've got Department of Commerce, Department of Energy, HHS, Homeland Security, Department of State, and read on through NASA and state and local governments. And our national security intelligence pretty much includes the Space Development Agency, National Reconnaissance Office, National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, and pretty much everything in the intelligence community. We also specialize across the board in a silo that literally meets all the challenges within those areas of business and agencies. So we break it down through engineering, digital, analytics, logistics, and mission support, and all that encompasses those areas of business and technologies. So if you are a business that specializes in cyber, but you may not have, you have a lot of cyber business, but yet we have an Army contract that we need help on in cyber. You know, you would, just because you may not have Army experience, your cyber experience may be what we need that would help with that requirement. So it's not necessarily necessary that you have to have the specialty and that concentration in that agency. Small business partnerships, teaming, opportunity to develop long-term mutual beneficial partnerships with capable small businesses. This enhances our SAIC's pool of qualified small business teaming partners. It enables SAIC to attain a competitive advantage on select government acquisitions. It enables partners to advance their business and technical acumen, and it enables partners to grow and diversify their portfolio. We have a commitment. The agency sees strong partnerships as an indication of a commitment to small business, and we are truly committed to seeing the success of our small businesses that work with SAIC. What are we looking for? We're looking for past performance with a customer. Now, if you are a new supplier out there and you're not going to be stepping your foot into SAIC with a large contract. In some cases, if you have no past performance, I would say work with another small business that has that past performance so that you can gain the experience on your capability statement that would make you qualified for that position. And let me even step a step back on that. A lot of you are past Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, and you could probably be working within the same realm that you worked for when you were in one of those military units. That is past performance. And sometimes you don't realize that that's past performance. You need to tout that you have done those skills for a number of years working for the Army, and you've had your hands already in that particular area of business. So don't discount your past experience as being a veteran. Also, unique innovations. There may be an innovation that you have within your company that is an area of weakness for SAIC and would like to partner with you where it is a win-win situation on an innovative project that one of the agencies is requiring things on. Industry certifications. We are not a manufacturing company per se, so we don't have as much of the ISO because we are more of a service corporation, but there are certifications under the service industry that may be required for that particular requirement. Also, you need to make sure that your socioeconomic status is correct in both, SAM.gov as well as, DSBS and the other areas that are out there. Security and facility clearances. We really can't start a conversation without you having a top secret clearance. If it's an individual that's doing business with us, you have to have it, or the facility has to have it. And also the NIST SP 800-171 compliance for protecting the controlled unclassified information. We also have a mentor protege program with SAIC. However, at this present time, we have no DOD or SBA spots available for acquiring new mentor proteges. So I like to throw that out there. We actually acquired a company called Half Acre, and as a result, they grandfathered in theirs and we had ours. So it's taken us over the maximum that we can have with the government. However, in another year or two, these mentor protege requirements are still very much valid. Having worked with SAIC for a minimum of 2 years as a subcontractor or prime with an excellent track record of performance and the ability to enhance business development efforts. It's very difficult to get into a mentor protege program with a company because there's a risk factor if you are an unknown asking to be a mentor protege. So that 2-year period of being an active subcontractor gives us the idea that you are willing and able to complete the mentor protege program successfully. And we have that level of trust that you are able to do that. You must have held a federal contract for at least 1 year and eligible to perform federal contracting. You must satisfy all of the following 3 criteria: minimum of 50 FTEs, 5 million in annual revenues, and 5 years in business. How do you do business with SAIC? It actually is a pretty simple process. You're going to send me an email, and I'm even going to correct the email address. I mean, I do see both emails, so I am, as a one-person department, I will see both, but you can also send it directly to me at the bottom, marguerite.brooks@saic.com, or simply rita.brooks@saic.com. Both will work. In that email, it's very important that you're succinct. You want to tell me what program or agency you're interested in. The more specific, the better. I don't need a book, but just tell me what you're interested in, or if there's an opportunity specifically, tell me what that is so that I can get you to that program. What's your specialty or commodity? Be specific. I have people telling me, okay, well, I do cyber and I do IT professional services, and then I'm also a facilities maintenance company. Well, those three things don't match up, especially the facilities maintenance, when you're trying to do business with SAIC. So come with your best in wheelhouse and let me know, you're putting your best foot forward, how I can get you successfully to the correct person. Business size, make sure that your business size is correct. Include all your subcategories. If you're hub zone, woman-owned, MBE, anything that is a subcategory to the small business, let me know. Also, let me know what your security clearance is, if it's individual, facility, or you have none. And any past performances to highlight. If you work for SAIC, or you've done business with SAIC before, or any information that could, help the person that I'm sending it to know a little more about you to further the discussion. So again, that's where that capability statement comes in. Make sure the capability statement matches what you're asking for and what area of business you are targeting. Oops, excuse me. So we do have a website, www.saic.com/SBP. And you could go on the website, learn about our programs, but then also scroll down to the right and you'll see a supplier portal. And in that supplier portal, register your company in that portal. Just before I finish, I want to at least give a little bit of further information on registering in portals. Everybody out there has a third-party tool that the primes are using, agencies are using. I definitely use one that pulls information from all of the various public websites, be it sam.gov, DSBS, everywhere that they can get information about your company. So when you are going in to register in anyone's portal, and you need to be mindful that the more information you include about your company, and not books, just these keywords. If I was looking for your company, what words would lead me to your company? Am I cyber? Am I AI? Am I, professional services? Am I financial? Whatever words that, if you were looking for your type of company, what would you include in that registration as a description of your company? Put in all of your NAICS codes, put in, make sure you have little descriptors on your NAICS codes that are specific to your business, because what is happening is I'm going out and looking at that third-party tool when my sourcing people say, hey, Rita, I need a cybersecurity guy or cybersecurity company that's in Maryland, that's in Baltimore County, and they've done, business with the Army. So I'm going to go into my tool and put that in there. Well, if you just shallowly put your information into the system, then I'm not going to find you. So it's that's the importance now of going back to those places that you've registered, especially the databases like sam.gov. And if you're not in sam.gov, you need to put yourself in there because no one's going to find you. You're missing opportunities that would have prevailed had you just had the right information in the right database. So just be mindful of that, as well as Dun and Bradstreet. Continuously look at your Dun and Bradstreet profile. Northrop Grumman, Textron Systems, SAIC, BAE, you name it, before they will talk to you and give you a PO, they're going to see how financially stable your company is. They're going to Dun and Bradstreet. So if someone has put something out there on your Dun and Bradstreet report that you're unaware of because you have not been looking at it, that could ruin your chances of an opportunity. So I'm just trying to, stress that we're in a technically, oriented world now, and it's no longer just, hi, how are you? Do you trust me? Handshake. People are looking out for every possible company that they can gather for sourcing for requirements on these contracts. So I hope that little bit of information puts a bug in your ear for you to go back and actually look. I'm going to stop sharing. To go back and look at your, what you have out there and correct it or enhance it. So that kind of ends my little spiel, and I'm opening it up for questions. I see a few questions out there, Yasmin.
Hi, thanks, Rita. That was great, very informative and concise. So yes, as Rita says, now's your opportunity to type out your questions in the chat box. So if you've got questions for how you can work with SAIC, anything that wasn't covered that you want to know more about, this is your opportunity to do that.
And even, the thing I also stress in my conversations with people during matchmakers, as I was telling Yasmin earlier, I probably give people too much information, but that's okay. Love my job. If you are a hub zone company, for example, look at the National Hub Zone Council, participate in those. Opportunities are out there, but you got to think of creative ways to actually find those doors that could open. There's a Hub Zone conference next week, right in Chantilly, Virginia. All of the agencies are there. All of the prime contractors are there. If you're Hub Zone, why wouldn't you be there? Because that's a direct face-to-face connection with Hub Zone. I will go to Michelle, who's the head of the president of the organization, anytime and say, hey, do you know of any Hub Zone companies that I could use on this opportunity? Well, if you were involved in Hub Zone or a participant in that, and she's got you on her list, then there's a selection that you may not even have been aware of because the opportunity was not out there in the public. So, if you are a veteran, there's the National Veteran Small Business Coalition. They have monthly dinners in DC at Pentagon City at the Army Navy Country Club. I mean, they're within driving distance of a lot of these local events. Always look at the Maryland PTAC website and look at their training. Use them as a resource to help look at your capability statement. Sometimes your capability statement are ones that won't get your foot in the door because they're not really what you should be presenting to a company. So
okay, so we do have some questions come through.
Okay.
First one is, when are the mentor protege opportunities opening up, or are they going to open up?
They will open. I think the last one ends in about 2023. However, again, you need to be already working with SAIC You can't just say, oh, can I be your mentor? Because at SAIC, we have to have past performance within SAIC. Now, if that question was coming from a current supplier, my suggestion would be to just know that beginning of 2023, start reaching out, or talk to, even better than that. The best way to get involved in that program is not really through the small business office. It's actually working with your program manager on a contract that you're working with currently with what given prime you're working with. Because that way they know you, they've worked with you, they've got the past performance, and then they could send, say, hey, I think, you may be a fit for whatever the opportunity is. Because a lot of times the mentor-protege programs are kind of coupled with, if it's a JV on something that we're going on, we're going after, or it's an area where we may want to use, it's a win-win. We may need your technology, you may need us assisting you with your accounting system. So there's always sometimes a reason where why we get a mentor protege. So it's not just a willy-nilly, oh, let's get another protege. In fact, we have a strategic council that I am a part of that literally looks at each company that we are discussing to become a protege and say, how can this company not only help us with this opportunity, but across the board? So we're looking at a more broader spectrum type of company that will help us not only in an Army opportunity, but a Navy or an Air Force or a space program. Does that answer your question?
Thank you. The person who asked can respond in the chat box if they need further information. The next question is, small businesses are often faced with non-responsiveness from large primes. What can we do to continue the dialogue instead of one and done conversations?
Oh, that's a good question. Okay. I'm not going to lie to you. There are definitely small business offices out there at prime contractors, that will literally, say, oh yeah, okay, here, let me send you to procurement. And then procurement will literally just dump it in their delete file. They don't bother with even contacting you, or if it's a one and done conversation, I don't think what you do meets my requirements, or I just don't have time. I was talking to Yasmin earlier, and it's funny because I've worked for Northrop Grumman, I've worked for Textron Systems, and now I'm at SAIC. And I can say by far, SAIC, who I send people to, are on the BD side. So I'm not sending you to procurement, where there's just somebody who's just processing POs. I'm actually sending you to the person, generally the vice president or director of that area of business, that is going to say to you, I don't have any opportunities right now, or wait, let's further discuss this. So I think part of the problem is a lot of, and I'm not saying all primes, I'm not even saying it at a scale, but it's kind of the dump and run. Oh, I did my thing. I sent it on to somebody, and I don't know who that person was, but I sent it on. They said that they were cyber, so okay, good, I'm done with it, delete. And that is, we get a huge volume of small businesses that send emails wanting to do business with SAIC. And I will try to answer at least 95%. If one drops by accident, it's because I hit the delete button by accident. But I have a stellar past performance on making sure that I'm connecting you to the right person. If for some reason you don't hear from them, then send another email back to me and say, hey, they didn't call me back. So is there anybody else that you can send me to? I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. And also, I can say and send an email saying, hey, could you really respond to this person? Because I sent you this email, a couple of weeks ago. So reach back. You don't have to be a pest, but you can be assertive because you do want to do business with us or any other prime. but I'm one person. There's other companies that have 10 people that do what I do. So it does get a little confusing depending on which division you're talking to or which group you're talking to. I'm literally a one person for the entire corporation. So if you're sending it to me, then I am the one that's sending it off. I don't have an assistant. And have patience with me, but I keep up with my emails.
Okay, that's great, thanks. Okay, the next question is regarding past performance. One is, how much past performance generally do we need? And another is, can I use my previous work experience with other federal government contractors as my past performance?
Yeah, I talked about that a little bit in the slides. If you are a small business, and any prime will tell you this, if you are a small business, unless you have some cutting edge, like I need the requirement, you don't have any, you don't have a lot of any or none federal experience, that may be an exception. But for the most part, if you are a new small business with little past performance, my best suggestion would be to partner with a more experienced small business. And sometimes those connections can come through these organizational, matchmaking events. I mean, I literally was in New York at a national 8A matchmaker, and I said, I don't care, I'll take two of you at the same time. They sat down at the table. I asked each of them what they did, and all of a sudden they looked at each other and go, wait, I could actually use you. And the other guy was like, wait, I could use you. So networking, now that things are live, are probably the most beneficial thing you can think of, because it will help you gain that experience through that other company. And there might be a value add that you can bring to them or they can bring to you. If you are an employee, or if you have worked with a company or an agency that before, and you've got the working knowledge of what that organization or agency does, absolutely use that as your past performance. We've got retired colonels or generals that they've retired, they've got that knowledge, and we use them as consultants. So that does not let you out, and without any hope of getting an opportunity. But unless you say it and write it that you do that, then nobody's going to know it.
Okay, thank you. Next question is, we have a cybersecurity product. What would be the best way to engage with SAIC from a product standpoint to see if we can complement current or future contracts?
We don't do a lot of products. I mean, we do in Crane and then in Huntsville for NASA and some of the agencies. But if it is a cybersecurity product, you'd have to give me a little bit more information on what it is. We have a brand new, and he's not brand new anymore. He was, Sean Kingsbury. He is very innovative, really is trying to get our cybersecurity top notch as far as opportunities. Send me an email with the capability statement, and in that email, and I will send the slides to Yasmin so she can get them over to you. But send it to rita.brooks@saic.com. And I will do a connection with you and Sean to see if there's any synergy with what you are producing and what he needs.
Okay, and it looks like we just have one more question. You mentioned earlier that SAIC is not a manufacturer, but does partner on opportunities with manufacturers where the end customer requires a product. I don't really see the question there. I think it was.
I think I can answer it. Yeah,
okay.
I can answer it. Okay. Yeah, we are services, or we are an integrator. So a lot of times you'll see the product, but we may not have built the product. We may have engineered how some of the internal systems are done. Now we do have, for example, a torpedo. that we build the front end piece of. So we do have a few products, but I shy away from a lot of manufacturing companies. It really has to be specific. For example, I would love to find, a raw steel company. That's what we would need to make the housing for the piece of the torpedo that we do manufacture. A lot of the stuff that we do works with our NIC program, or some of our space NASA programs. We do have products that are made through some of our AI, but again, it's very specific things, and it's not, let's just not flood me with all the manufacturing companies that are on the phone, because, supply chain, we really don't get a whole host of them. So I hope that answers your question. We are more services integrators, software development, in that type of company. But again, limited manufacturing.
Okay, well, that looks like we have come to the end of all the questions. So I would like to thank our audience for asking, being engaging and asking great questions. I'd like to thank our speaker, Rita, so much for.
Nice. Yasmin, I did it. There was one other question that popped up.
Oh, sure, go ahead.
How can an MBE IT company support your staffing needs? And that might be big on this phone and may not have been answered. So I just wanted to answer that before we got off the phone. We use a company called Aegean, and we have a blanket contract with them for staffing. However, if you told me that you were a staffing company looking for, looking to do business with SAIC, I do have their contact information, but let me just qualify it for a second. So a lot of times you will put yourself as a staffing company, where that will limit you across the board with primes, because they don't really need staffing companies. You want to change the word on staffing to maybe, labor solutions, if that fits what you do, because then that changes you from, I'm just kind of HR, to no, I've got the qualified employees that actually do engineering support and software development. So you're a little bit more oriented to a requirement versus HR oriented just to get, butts and seats at SAIC. So hopefully that explained that.
Okay, great. Thanks again. Okay, another one's popped in. How do we find projects that you're interested in working with, small businesses?
We do not publicize our opportunities. The best thing that I would say would to go out on FedBiz, or go to our website and see the specialties, which are also in the slide presentation, that you could say, oh, well, my company does this. Send that information to me with that capability statement so that you can have a conversation with the BD folks that may have upcoming opportunities that they can discuss further with you, or current opportunities. When we win a contract, we can win a contract that won't, be definitized for 2 years. So we've had our team for 2 years. That doesn't say that once we have, once we've got the award, that within those 2 years, one of the small businesses may have gone out of business, or one of the small businesses are no longer small, they're large. Anything can happen with that 2-year time frame. So yes, we have our teams organized, and we know what the opportunities are and how we have filled them, but there's always that chance that what you do may enhance or be a value add to what we already have. So always send me the capability statements with whatever you have that conversation.
Okay, that's great. And Rita, I believe you're going to send me the slides, and I'll share that with everybody, and also the link for the replay, which will be available later today. So yeah, any last words, Rita, before we sign off?
No, I thank each of you for coming. I know it takes time out of your day, but I hope that I was, I gave you information that you could move forward with and some little tidbits to help you be successful. Because although you may not be working with SAIC or you are working with SAIC, I'm in it for the advocacy of making sure that you guys get to the next step. And I appreciate Yasmin for inviting me as a featured speaker on this event.
All right, well, great. Thanks so much, Rita, and thanks everybody again for your participation, and we'll see you on another future PTAC webinar. Take
Great,
care,
thank
everybody.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.